Welcome to my channel. I'm Moon Sparkle and I'm here to do my Vow of Celibacy update. I'm done counting what month I'm in. I just know that I'm in my last year, I'm in my last stretch of my Vow of Celibacy, so thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, I encourage you to click like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Where do we start? I decided to record today as I was rising because I do have to work in about like 30 minutes. So I thought, let me go ahead and record as I'm rising. So my vow of celibacy, let's see. The spiel that I like to give is about 2019. After a relationship, I decided to take a vow of celibacy because I realized at that point in time, I had never taken the time to stop and heal after relationships. So I thought I would give myself some time to heal. After doing some research on a vow of celibacy, I decided to put an intention behind it and make it a thing for myself. So I decided to take a 3-year vow of celibacy for healing, for myself, for others, for my inner child, to give my inner child back the time that was taken from her, to heal past generations, future generations, to practice self-love, to take a vow of celibacy for personal growth, just to take a vow of celibacy just to be a better me. And so that's where I am. What I do want to say is that this month marks when I started being celibate. So it's been, this month marks 3 years since the last time I've had sex, Easter Sunday. So I'm just proud of that within itself, that, you know, I've surpassed, I'm meeting my first goal that I set for myself, which was to take a 3-year vow of celibacy. And later on this month, I will have reached that 3-year. But for the vow of celibacy that I've set, you know, I have until next year, February. So that's that spill. Plant medicine. I think this is lemon balm. No, maybe not. I just know that from the person who gave me my plant medicine, this plant medicine right here is like my inner child is giving me a hug. So I've been sipping on her for about 2 days, so I'm enjoying this. What is happening? Where do I want to start? Still living in Texas. I feel myself getting more settled here. And I say that because I was working through a temp agency, and now I'm in the process with the temp agency of becoming full-time. So the transition process of the temp agency, I'm still working from home. I will continue to be working from home. I do enjoy my job. It's very meaningful. It's a job where I get to grow. The biggest thing I'm learning is not to take it personal. And I have that time for myself to, you know, to have my practices or just to be me or not to do anything. So I am enjoying that. I think I was a little bit torn because I'm like, is this what I want to do? But right now, this is what I'm doing, working from home, very meaningful job. And so that's something that's happening that is making me feel, you know, more rooted in Texas. I haven't met like a solid group of friends, or I haven't started going out. I'm in a place, ever since I had to file bankruptcy in 2019 or 2018, whenever that was, I've just been in a very different place the way I move financially. And so I don't feel like I can make one move until I get other things taken care of. So I haven't really put myself out there and explored and just really dived in and started shopping or anything like that. So that's different. So I feel like that's coming soon, within the next couple of months, or probably like next month. I see myself getting out there more, trying to find a poetry spot and just getting back into that. What else is different? I've met someone at the grocery store, because that seems to be the only place I can meet someone, because that's the only place I go. So I guess the universe, God, goddess is like the grocery store. So I met someone in the grocery store, and what I get so hesitant on sharing this, but I want to be vulnerable and make sure I'm sharing, you know, what I'm experiencing while I'm on this vow of celibacy. He approached me. I didn't notice him before he noticed me, and I was trying to avoid him because kind of in this place of, do I want to put myself out there? What I will say is interesting is, um, when my birthday came in February, I was in that place of wanting that companionship, wanting a partner, contemplating, do I want to go back to online dating? I had done that for so many years, and I really just didn't want to do that. I wanted to meet someone organically. My daughter was really wanting me to get out there and meet someone. So meeting him in the grocery store, completely lined up. He is older. He is 22 years older than me. At first I was like, get back. But what I'm learning and being open is, maybe my type is a problem, and maybe I need to try something different. So I am trying something different. The last time I dated an older guy, I don't think he was 20 something years older than me. He might have been about 12. And I will say that he treated me really well, and I learned a lot, but I wasn't mature enough, nor was I mentally. I was so superficial, I was not in a place to date him. And sometimes I reminisce on that relationship because I realize how good of a relationship it was. So I am taking my time. We are getting to know each other. I am still celibate. He respects my vow of celibacy a lot, and I am happy that I'm able to show up as myself, and I'm not hiding, and I'm not putting on a mask. What I would like to say about him is, I remember when I was practicing Christianity, I always wanted a Christian man. And now that I'm not like actively practicing, and when I say actively practicing, I don't go to a church to practice. I meet a man who is actively practicing in that way. And so that's interesting to see this person's walk. I think that's quite beautiful. Sometimes I ask questions why we are in each other's path. I can see so many reasons for why we're in each other's path, but what I'm trying to learn to do is be present, enjoy this experience, and realize that when you meet someone, they're not always there for forever. And it's just a blessing to have the opportunity to have had the experience to have so many lovers and so many partners. And I view lovers and partners as teachers. Would I like that one lifelong partner? Yes, but there's a reason for why I get so many partners and so many teachers. So I am staying present. I feel very grounded. This relationship did not unsettle me. I will say the first week we spent like almost every day together, but I brought my practices along, which was great that, he was open enough for me to bring my practices with me. And then the second week when I evaluated, I was like, okay, we can't spend that much time together. Let's just do weekends. And so we're growing. I know that the next 2 weeks, I don't know how much we'll see each other because I'm busy. What I'm learning to do right now is, I was so disciplined at the beginning of this year with my practices. And now that I've met someone, I am a yaya. I'm getting to see, so far I've seen the yayas almost like every week. So once a week. I don't know if that will continue to be the thing, but, and I'm working and I have my practices, and, I'm creating a space to be a friend, and creating a space to be a sister, and creating, this space here, and still growing. So what I'm having to accept is that my practices aren't as disciplined as they were, and that's okay. Right now I'm just doing them whenever and however I feel, or if I don't feel like doing it at all. So that's what's happening, in my practices. TV has entered my life again. I will share what I'm watching. My inner child watches Punky Brewster. My teenager self watches the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And my grown adult self, with my adult children, we are watching Bel-Air, which I am thoroughly enjoying. And so that's the TV I'm taking in. I just feel like at this point, my life is blossoming again. And I may be in a transition where I'm not so on top of my practices. What I will say is happening is I had wanted to explore my sexuality more. And it looks like I may be not maybe, I have gotten to explore my sexuality a lot without having intercourse. Since the last update, I'm gonna tell you, my sacral chakra was open and flowing like a waterfall or like a river. So my sacral, like, that's different when one of your chakras like really, really open and the other ones are just kind of like flowing. And maybe there was a block in my sacral chakra, and now in this new experience I'm having, I'm getting to open up that part of me and just own my sexuality. I'm still looking for something that a practice that I can have to maintain my body, because in Texas I'm growing into myself. I'm full. I'm full, and I love my body, but I want to maintain it because I know I'm getting older. So I am looking for something, because in California, I hiked so many times a week and I was just so active, and I had such a life where I moved a lot, and now I have a life more of stillness. So I am looking for a practice with that. Recently, with my new friend that I'm getting to know, we went to a nursery, and so I got sunflower seeds, because that's my inner child, loves sunflower seeds, and we planted it in my ancestral pot. And I now have a rose bush and a plant that I call Mama Rose. And then you can see these plants, they're kind of indoor and outdoor plants. And so I'm happy that plants are coming back into my life in multiple ways. In regard to my practices, I'm burning candles. I'm still doing my ancestral altar work and prayer. At one point in time on my ancestor altar, I had both sides from different generations on my altar. Now I'm in a space where I'm just sitting with one ancestor. My prayer life is strong. I pray daily, sometimes twice a day. I'm pulling oracle cards daily. I'm reading tarot as needed, and I'm just really working with the 3-card spread. What else am I working on? I have a lot of habits that I'm still doing. I still have my self-love journal that I'm still practicing. I have my vision board journaling that I do. I still am practicing my vision board. I am now doing moon journaling with the different, because we're now in the new moon in Aries. What else do I have? I am still journaling my dreams, still doing like my bedtime meditation, not as often. Kundalini I have practiced once since the last time I recorded. Yoga, I have, there's a yoga practice that I do to release emotions. I want to say I've done that twice since the last time we recorded. Still practicing affirmations. It's just not as heavy and every day. The last time I recorded with you guys, I was on almost every day, and now it's more so as needed. I'm not so obsessive with my practices. So, I didn't get to mention, I got to recently do distance Reiki for the first time, and I was super excited, could barely sleep, said how I was going to want to do it, and I did it. I didn't use any tools other than like a drum that I have, and I just allowed myself to be the vessel. And so, I was able to critique myself after, but not getting too caught up in that. It was exactly what it needs to be. So I'm excited about that I got to practice distance Reiki with someone else. It was really great, and in alignment. And what else? My eating, I'm getting back on top of my eating. I'm back to eating fish. I've added a new fish, and so I'm eating tilapia and salmon and salad and brown rice and quinoa, and then I'm having a smoothie. I do eat my bacon, bacon and cream of wheat for breakfast. So I'm finding that groove and feeding myself the way that I need to be nourishing my body. Sometimes I'm really disciplined with my water, and sometimes I'm not. I just started drinking cold coffee again because I definitely enjoyed that. I think that's about it for my update. I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. I'm just grateful for this opportunity to be able to come and do this update. I am in my last year. I'm in my last stretch. I don't know what is to come after this. I would love to continue to still do monthly updates after this, because I think that part would be great, but we'll just see. But thank you for joining me on my 3-year vow of celibacy update. Thank you for whoever has watched this video from beginning to end. And thank you. Thank you for joining me, Moon Sparkle, on my channel. Peaceful risings. Ashe.